In this video tutorial, I'm going to pick up right where I left off in part 1, and I'm going to show you how to close this scenes window over here, and I'll show you how to add color and materials to the Turtle Sandbox. Then we will add something from the 3D warehouse, and finally, because I did not save this project yet, I'll go through the process of how to save it in a particular folder, even though I generally do that first before we even get to these videos, but it'll also be in this video. So now that we have completely drawn the Turtle Sandbox in 3D, we no longer need scenes over here. So if you take your mouse up to the, I'm going to call it the title bar here, I don't really know what it's called, but an X will appear that's otherwise hidden. So we can go up and click on that X, or that should also close it. And actually, let me explain the difference there. The X closes if you have multiple things open here. Say we have this open, components and materials. The clicking on the X gets rid of components but keeps materials out here, whereas this arrow closes, maybe it's called a drawer, but basically think of it as sliding a drawer closed. So this X gets rid of this category of items, whereas this will just shut it. So what we need to add color is we need the materials palette or window here. So I'm going to click on this thing that looks like a cube with a checkered surface. And if you ever open materials and you don't see what you're looking for here, then you have to actually, when you do click on it for the first time, it'll probably look like this. It'll just show you materials in use. So you have to click this icon here for browse. Browse will give you all of the materials, including like here's carpet, leathers, glass, metal. There's even a category for landscaping. That's where we'll get our sand. For right now, let's go to colors. And that's where you'll be able to go down and find the green. You do not have to make it green. You may choose to make it any color you want. But if you want to go with a typical green Turtle Sandbox, it's going to be one of these greens right here. And here's a tip for you. I'll show you how to change the color of an entire object easily, but first we'll do it this way. We'll click, say I want to use this green, I select it, and then I click on the surface that I want to be green. And you could go around and you could do that for every surface. It's not bad practice to have to use the orbit tool and paint, but it is rather time consuming. So there's a better way. Watch this. With the select tool, which is the arrow, and by the way, you can activate it by pressing the space bar. If you triple click on a model or something you've drawn, 3 clicks in a row, it selects all of it. And now, watch this, with 1 click, it'll fill in the entire object. So it makes it quite easy to play around with different colors. And then to stop painting, you just grab the select tool again. So you can experiment with different colors. If you didn't like that blue, you can triple click. I was a little too slow there. There we go. It's a little tricky to do a triple click. And then you can try different colors. That's kind of dark. Let's try the green. While it's still selected, you can easily roll through different colors. And then just to get rid of all the blue outlines, you just grab the select tool and click off of it. So I'm going to keep it green. So I'll do my triple click here. And by the way, the reason you're seeing a menu pop up is I was a little too close to the right side of my touchpad. If I'm on the left side when I triple click, it's not a problem. I'm going to make it this lime green here. And now we're done with colors. Okay, so now I'm going to roll up this colors palette or close it. And I'm going to go to landscaping. And the reason we're going to landscaping is because that's where the sand is. So I go down here and I can select sand, and then I'll just drop that in the bottom. And we should probably pull that up a little bit so it looks like there's actually some depth. So we need the push-pull tool for that. It's over here. You can activate it with the letter P on your keyboard, and we'll pull the sand up a little bit. Okay, to deselect the sand, well, actually it's deselected already. And I think we're done here with the materials palette, so I can close it, or I could click the X. Actually, should just close it this way because I still had scenes open, or I'm done with scenes for now, so I can close that as well. Next, we're going to go to the 3D warehouse, which is this icon right here. If you hover over it long enough, it will say 3D warehouse. And the first time you click on it, you might have to put a check in a box and agree to their terms, and then you'll see this. And if you just search for beach ball, the one we're looking for might not come up right away. And I say the one we're looking for because there is one that's drawn to scale with the rest of our drawing. If you just did a search for beach ball, you might find one that's about 100 times bigger than our sandbox or way smaller. So the exact beach ball we're looking for is SketchUp for Schools Beachball. And unfortunately, if you don't spell everything correctly or you don't have the S on schools, you will not find it easily. SketchUp for Schools Beachball. Press enter on your keyboard. And if by chance it's not on models, that could also be a problem. It should be on models, but if it were on products or one of these other categories, you might not find it. And then also be careful to look at who created it. We want the one that was created by SketchUp and not this one, which I'm not even sure what that looks like. But we definitely want this one. So you click, well actually, rather than click on it here, which will trip some people up because then you have other options, the quickest way to get this into your drawing is just simply to click on this download icon right here. And that was interesting. Okay, here we go. It downloads, it comes into your drawing with the move tool already activated. It doesn't look like it over here, but this little four-way red arrow, that is the move tool, which will allow you to place it inside your sandbox. So you just click once to place it. And it has this blue outline around it. To get rid of that blue outline, you just grab the select tool, which you can activate by pressing the space bar, and then click off of it to deselect it. And again, I clicked on the right side of my touchpad, which is why a little menu popped up. Okay, so there you have it. That's a complete turtle sandbox drawing. If you want to add more objects to the sandbox, like a sand pail or a little shovel, you may do so. If you wanted to add some things around it, you could do that as well. Just be sure to show it to Mr. Gauntz for a grade before getting too crazy. So if something bad happens to your drawing, it's been graded. And at this point, it should have already been named. We should have went over that in class, but I'm going to show you the process right now of saving this with a specific name to your SketchUp models folder. You click on Untitled up here, and it's safe to click Yes, Purge All. If you choose No, it doesn't really matter, but it would probably be best to choose Purge All because it's going to allow your drawing it's going to make your computer run faster while you're working in your drawing. So click Yes, Purge All. Then you're going to go into My Drive. You will not have all these other drives. The teachers at Bear Creek have these, but students don't. So let's click on My Drive. Then you're going to click on your folder named SketchUp Models. And if you've looked at all your folders and you don't see a folder named SketchUp Models, then it's time to create one. And to create a folder, you simply click right here on this icon. You would type in SketchUp Models, and I would spell it with a capital S, capital U. SketchUp is one word, then Models with a capital M. And it's going to tell me I already have a folder named that. So if you see that, then you should definitely just click Cancel. And then what you would do after you create the folder, you still need to click on it in this space. Otherwise, it will not be saving it to your SketchUp Models folder. So you click on it. Now the path should read Drives, My Drive, SketchUp Models. When you are in your SketchUp Models folder, down here you can give it a name. I'm going to call it Turtle Sandbox Example. You can just simply name yours Sandbox or Turtle Sandbox, or an appropriate name to whatever you're drawing, and then click on Save here. And it will say saving up there, and when it says saved with a D, you're good. And then when you make changes, like I'm going to move the beach ball, it'll give me the save option again. If I were to quit right now without saving, where I moved the beach ball to, that change would not be saved, so I would need to click Save. And when it says saved with a D, I could close this tab or quit Chrome, and all my work would be saved.